Hi guys, welcome back. We've got a little test going in the background. I got a PM off my last video and I want to kind of address it. So I'm not going to go into a huge series about why lithium is better than lead acid or AGM deep cycle batteries. I feel like if this was a year or 2 years ago, I would have done a video series like that. I feel like nowadays people have or have at least heard of lithium ion and they know the difference, whether or not they just see the price tag and they say not for me, or they don't realize the benefits of lithium, what you can do with it. And to give you a quick kind of representation, I did a lot of testing when I first got my deep cycle batteries and I got the Renogy inverter. I did a lot of testing in the bus. I wanted to see if, one, we got this little 1,000-watt kettle that's making hot water back here, to see if I could power that. I want to be able to power a few other things, laptops, etc. The induction cooktop that I bought, $5 little experiment off of Goodwill, was a huge fail. And again, I put in some photos, but I just couldn't get it without the voltage drop coming down to the point where the inverter would shut down. And on our trip, it was kind of the same thing with this little 1,000-watt inverter. Although I did testing with the batteries fully topped off after a night of running the fridge and the lights and maybe even the diesel heater fan, because that takes power to heat the fan, to make the fan work. In the morning, my inverter would not have enough power coming from those two 100 amp hour deep cycle batteries in very good shape to not auto shut down with the voltage drop required to heat 1 liter water with a 1,000-watt electric kettle. So I would have to start the bus. Not a big deal. This was a trip in November through the backcountry of Oregon, very cold. So warming up the bus, not the biggest of deals. Warm up the bus, let the alternator start charging both the house batteries and the truck batteries, and warm up the truck while we warmed up ourselves and made coffee for the morning. The difference is these tripped out last night. Cell 2 tripped out at 355. This was only at 13.5 volts, and which means it was around 70% total capacity. Again, these are 280 amp hours. So the message I got was, what's the difference? And this is the biggest difference. So right now, this is not hooked up to a truck or an alternator or anything else. These were charged last night, like I said, only to 70% until BMS kicked off. I do have an active cell balancer on its way. Should be here Friday. I just believe that the Overkill Solar BMS doesn't have the resistance ability to keep those cells balanced because they are very large cells. I believe it was designed for much smaller cell capacity, around 100 amp hour cells, and these 280s are just too much to keep them balanced actively. As you know, one cell, these again are overseas cells, one has a little bit less resistance than the other, so one will discharge faster, one will charge faster, and that whichever cell gets there first is when the BMS is like, okay, done. Don't charge anymore, don't discharge anymore. And so because of that, because it can't keep those balanced, you're not getting full capacity. Now, I have no qualms about what these things can do, and I'm not really worried about it, but I am curious. It was either a $30 high quality active balancer, or it was spending $70 to $100 on some sort of power supply to top balance these at 3.55 in parallel. We talked a little bit about it on the last video. So we're still pulling 85 amps, which is not insignificant. You guys can kind of hear the water starting to boil. I'll put a quick shot in and we'll turn this off so the water doesn't get the electronics, because water and electronics, not a great idea. So, killed that. We'll see whatever it is. It's probably about 6 minutes or so. Still have lots of power left. But let's pull up the Victron Smart Shunt Ultra Mega Extreme 2000. And at 1,000 watts, we drew 10 amp hours. Maybe I'll put in a quick shot if you can't read that. We drew 10 amp hours. So, what does that say? Out of a 280 pack, you can do this 28 times, right? That's good math. I have double that capacity, so I could make 56 liters of hot water with a 1,000-watt inverter before I even need to think about charging anything. Now, that's bringing everything all the way down. I do have a pretty comfortable limit set, as I mentioned. There's a sort of 20% that I'm going to leave in the batteries. However, lithium ions can be taken down without severe damage. I just don't think I need it. And so I might as well make the longevity of the cells last for a very long time. And in fact, these cells will probably get replaced before they're even close to being done. However, I've already noticed that my deep cycle batteries, after one season of using them, are not holding as good of a charge. They were put through the ringer. They tried doing what I wanted to do out of them, and it just wasn't possible. So that gives you an idea of what's possible, guys, with this sort of setup. I hope you have a great day. If you have any other questions, I'm happy right now while I'm doing all these experiments before it gets in the bus to do a couple quick videos for you. So thank you guys for watching. We'll see you down the road.
Thanks for all the love and support. You guys are amazing. Please like, share, and subscribe. Follow the adventure on social media, and we'll see you on the road.